Ayanda, thank you so much for joining us.
Are we on?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, cool. It's good.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've had a great day with you.
Absolutely beautiful day. It went seamlessly and I just loved working with the whole team. Thank you for having me.
It's amazing.
So excited.
Yeah! I love that you spoke about working because I want to get into how you began in the industry. You know, what was your working background? I think a lot of people don't know it. I know a bit about it through other people, and I just want you to take us through it. You know, what led you to this point that you're in now?
Look, I've had a very different journey to most people in the industry, and it's something that I actually appreciate because it's something that's worked for me. I come from a marketing background. I have 2 degrees in marketing. I have an honors degree in marketing. I worked in a medical field at Johnson & Johnson. I was selling medical devices and diagnostics.
Yeah.
I went on to sell pharmaceutical products. From selling pharmaceutical products, I went on to be a brand manager at L'Oreal.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be part of the entertainment industry. And how I went about it is that whenever I had free time, whether it be my lunch breaks, I'd go and audition. And if I get an audition, then I'd take leave and I'd go and go and perform the job that I had received. So that's really how I got into the industry. And slowly I built up my portfolio. And some people knew about me in the industry. And testament to the fact that whatever is given to you, whatever your hands find to do, you have to do it with excellence. I was actually contacted by Connie Ferguson for season 1 of Rockville due to the work that she had seen me do. Those little jobs, they became something big at some point. So yeah, so that was my beginning in the industry. I got into the industry quite late, but I think it happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. And I love how you speak about how, you know, the little things kind of, you know, surmount into something big because often the small decisions have the biggest impact.
Yes.
And I think with your career, it's just a series of decisions that have amounted to something great.
Yeah.
What is that decision-making process for you?
Wow, it's just really knowing yourself. You know, I think I spent a lot of time researching myself, finding out who I am, how I fit into the different spaces where I found myself. And I think the one factor that's been consistent is that I've been authentically me in every single field.
Amazing.
So, and in every way that I've been. So even in finding my space where I am and where I occupy, that thread is just authenticity. And I identify myself as the girl next door that people can relate with. Maybe the pretty girl next door because that's how people would relate to me. But I really am. Maybe. But I am the girl next door. And I think people relate to me. They relate to how simple I can be. And sometimes when I want to switch it up, I'll switch it up.
Yeah.
I don't conform. When I say authenticity, I think it's more about my internal self, who I represent as a person. I think I represent kindness, friendship, girl. And I think those are actually the attributes of myself that have contributed to that authenticity. So it's not only about how you look, although that does play a part, but just who I am and that has influenced the space in which I occupy.
And I think in a certain way that it's unfortunate that the perception for someone who is as striking as a beauty as you is that authenticity is not the thing that leads. You know? I mean, I think there is a perception there that you kind of fell into the industry. You know, that the industry one day woke up and decided to walk to your door.
Yes.
And because of the beauty thought, here's an easy meal ticket for us for the win. But it was very interesting in the makeup room listening to you saying how, you know, I asked you about the scar on your face.
Yes.
And you said you've always had it since birth, and because of it you thought you would never represent beauty, you know, because of your height, you thought you would never be a model.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ironies that shape your life. And do you feel that these ironies in some way have served you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I've thought, like the scar, like me being short, that have. Maybe I've limited myself in not getting into those spaces sooner because of the thoughts that I had.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've beat so many odds to be where I am, you know, to come to Joburg and really make a name for myself. I am from Durban, I am from a small town, and all those cliches exist, you know. And yes, people will see you as a beautiful girl, and some people won't want to go beyond the surface of who you are. But for me, all the cliches, I find them challenging, I find them interesting, because I'm always able to prove myself and my capabilities. And I thrive to do that, you know. It's unfortunate that I have to. I don't think that it's something that I should have to do. But unfortunately, in the society that we live in, it's always the surface before you get into who the person is. Yeah. But I find it challenging, I find it interesting. I think when I say to people I have 2 degrees, I've worked in a medical field, I used to be in theatre. I used to be in theatre with sutures and drains, and actually the theatre sisters used to say to me, "Ufunani la wena," you know. But it's been interesting just navigating those different spaces, and they've made me who I am because of my marketing background, because of those dots that have now connected. I absolutely love Steve Jobs. That's why I know about the dots that connect. So because of those dots that I've connected to become who I am, I'm able to market myself, because I thought if I could market a brand like Dark and Lovely when I was in L'Oreal, then certainly I can make myself the brand and represent myself in a great way. Absolutely. One of my favorite quotes is a quote that says, "It takes a long time to become an overnight success."
Absolutely.
And for me, I had to do the extra, being an extra in a show. I had to do the little roles that no one knows about. I had to take time during my breaks. I had to do the odd modeling advert work to get to where I am. And, you know, if I have to prove to people that I still am capable beyond what they see, then that's what has to happen, and I'll do it.
Yeah. And I mean, Henry Ford also said, you know, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 20 seconds to destroy it.
Yep.
So what's helped you from, you know, what's prevented you from destroying yours?
Wow, I think it always comes back to having a set of principles that you live by, and also the goals that you've set for yourself. There's, you know, I always compare life, and when I speak to young girls, I always say, have an end goal in mind. It's like having a GPS. If you write the end destination, you might have detours because we're humans, we make mistakes, but you always know what your center is, and you'll always be able to navigate back to your end goal. So I think having your end goal in mind, having a set of principles, as well as just being surrounded by good people that want the best for you, who are able to tell you the truth, who are able to say, "Oh, I don't think that is you," or "I don't think that you should go there." I'm surrounded by a family that is absolutely beautiful, humble in heart and soul, and good friends that I've had for a long time, who know me before everything that has unfolded in my life. And I think they're able to always bring me back to my center.
You said something interesting in the beginning. You said you've had time to research yourself, and you know, to figure out who you are. So who are you?
Who am I? That's such a difficult question. I mean,
simple question, but it's
actually such a difficult question, because you're so many things at once as a woman, right? You're multifaceted. You are a sister. You're a friend. You are so many things at so many different points.
At this point in your life, because you know, you speak about how having the end goal in mind, and you know, Neville Goddard always says, live in the end. You know, you want to dream, you want to create a vision for your life. Live in the end. Decide what the end is, and live in the end. So the life that you have now is an end that's led to, right?
Yeah.
There's been a journey that's led to this today. So this woman who I sit next to today, who is she?
I think it's much an end as it is a beginning. You know, I've always said all the things that I wanted in my life, a lot of the things that I've wanted, I've achieved. And now I feel like I'm in an evolutionary space where I'm thinking about who am I going to be next, and what kind of space I want to occupy. And the next chapter of my life is influence. I want to influence in a business aspect.
Not influencer.
No. I want to influence in a business aspect. I want to influence in a powerful and meaningful way, in a way that changes lives, in a way that that grows me as a person as well.
Yes.
I think I'm finding that person. I'm finding the routes that I want to take. But I really think that this point in my life is a point where I have been this person for a long time, and now I'm asking myself questions about what's next. I have an idea, but I'm refining it.
How do you envision the next chapter of your life in terms of how it builds from this one that you're currently in now?
I think the next chapter is all about ownership. Everything that I'm doing now, I want to do it in a bigger scale, in a better way, but also I want to own the platforms that I'm on, whether it be a TV show, whether it be the businesses, whether it be, and it's to transcend to more than a face, to being the owner of whatever that I'm a part of. I think it's important to teach young girls that come after me that as much as you can be at the forefront of everything, being at the background of it and also enjoying those kind of fruits is also quite important. I've done behind the scenes and background work in terms of my corporate career, and then that brought me into this light. But I think going forward, I want to just be a greater version of myself, a woman that has just impeccable value in the spaces that I occupy, in terms of just owning what I'm a part of and really being passionate and behind it in many other different ways.
Well, I think you've owned today.
Thank you.
I think you will own October. So thank you very much.